wanted to invite you guys to check out the Happiness Hour community blog. And I wanted to take a minute to thank Elaine Pruden for helping me get it up and running. A new post went up earlier today called Wanderlust in Motion by Tricia Ziegler. So please check that out. And if you'd like to contribute an article, just take a look at the invitation on my website, lindanickell.com, for details. So for the last, I don't think we've been doing it all 50 sessions, but I've been closing out each of the meetings by telling you to go out and create something beautiful. And last week I threw out an invitation to anybody that wanted to send in a photo and for like a little show and tell and to show us their image and then tell us a little bit about their work is Michelle Esclovan. And you can find her at her website is michelleesclovan.com.
Well, the inspiration for this was the presentation from Shari back last year. So I had tried a couple of times with, night photography. And so her presentation really helped me out a lot. The funny thing is she mentioned cars earlier today, and the cross that's in this picture was actually highlighted from cars coming off the highway there on the beach road. This cross was erected in 2007 after Hurricane Ike and has withstood all of the hurricanes that we've had since then. And so it's always just something that I really like to photograph. It's great at sunrise. And one day I just thought, I'd see what it would, if the Milky Way would even show up down there at the beach. And so it did. So that was my inspiration behind the shot.
Thank you, Michelle. Mika Geiger. And you can find Mika at mikageiger.com. Mika, do you want to tell us about your image?
Yes. Well, people who know me will probably wonder if this is my photo, because it's very unusual for me to have a photo that doesn't have an insect or a tiny critter. And that's one of the things that I have loved about Happiness Hour presentations. A lot of them have helped me hone my skills, and other ones like this one tonight too, pointed me in a completely different direction, something I wouldn't have done before. And there are a number of actually presenters who came into my mind as I was photographing this. This was during that ice storm that we had recently in Texas that shut down the state for like 6 days. And I was stuck in the yard, no insects. So I focused on something completely different. And Alyce Bender, she had a presentation on macro, and she talked about an hour with the flower, where you sort of like really focus on it and see different angle and perspectives. And I spent more than an hour. I mean, over those 6 days, I spent like, I don't know how long, but the ice changed, and it was just fascinating. And Valerie Hoffman, who, well, I've loved all of her presentations, but the one in Finding Abstracts, I think it was called, in Nature, she got me thinking a lot more about curves and angles. And this, to me, I titled this Shark Sighting in the Agave Ocean, because the red thorn, I guess you would call it, looks like a fin, and the rest just looks like an ocean. And I used actually close-up lens kit that I learned about from Jose Madrigal during his incredible macro presentation, because I knew I could get the details that I wanted using that. And yeah, I mean, there are so many others. I've learned something from everybody, even, well, Jon Fischer too, with the editing that I used in this to bring out the hues. So yes, thank you to everybody for everything I've learned, and having great, I don't know, educational and social fun doing this.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I believe Julie is up.
Hi.
Hi, Julie.
I usually don't take pictures like this. Usually I do like travel and landscape pictures. But anyways, this was inspired by Carolyn Watson with her that class that she did, My Still Life Story.
Right.
And to look at this, it looks so simple to do, but it took me an hour and a half just to arrange this and get the right angle. But I think it came out cute.
I think it's really cute. And I know that you'd said that this was you're preparing for Easter. And
Yeah.
I thought, you know, when I saw you do this, I mean, when you sent the image, I immediately went, this is not what she normally does. And that's what was so cool about you submitting that photo, because, you know, we all kind of get in that, this is what I do, and I don't really deviate. And whoever it is, whether it's Valerie or Carolyn or any of the other ones that you guys mentioned, it's just a little spark. Try something different. And, you know, if you hate it, delete it and no one has to know about it. But I was particularly excited to see this because it's so different. It's and Carolyn kind of inspired me a little bit too, because I didn't really have an interest in still life. And Stephen Mack was here when he did that just huge, elegant floral display. And then Carolyn came back and slapped on more ideas. And it's been kind of fun. I was at my mom's house this weekend and I'm looking around at her curios and I'm thinking, I'm going to borrow some of this stuff at some point. But thank you for sharing, Julie. And Julie, it's Julie Chapa. And she's got, her website is juliechapaphotography.com. And so the last one is with Karen Riley of homeplate101.com.
Yeah, this has actually been really amazing for me in a lot of ways. I've tried to do something every week based on whatever the topic was. And so the one on the left, the green flower, it's not even a flower yet. So Vala really, like, one of the things that I've learned from her is to just look at things in a different way and take lots of pictures of the same things from different angles. And so the flower's not even blooming. I was waiting for this. I grew these, they're tiny miniature sunflowers, and I grew them. And then we were going on vacation and I knew I was going to miss the bloom. And I was like, I'm just taking a picture of it anyway. And it turned out to be one of my favorite pictures that I've taken. And also Michael Rung and Jon Fischer have made me look at kind of monochromatic in a different way and look for the highlights to make it more interesting in the patterns. And so, yeah, so that was that one. And then Jose, when he was talking about all the insects, I actually caught, we were walking the dogs every day and my neighbor had this beautiful, like, all these sunflowers all over her yard. And so every day for probably a month, I shot those flowers while I was walking the dog. And finally, I got a bee that was fairly in focus. And so I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, it's been great. Like I love the still life. And I realized after listening to Carolyn that still life is probably what fits my lifestyle with, you know, trying to raise kids and have a job and, you know, my husband, and just with what's going on in my life right now, still life probably works well enough with macro that I can, those two things, because they're small and I can do them quickly and at home or near my home. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I've learned a ton. I take notes every week and I always can pull out something that I can use.
Thank you. I am so absolutely tickled. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm just kind of glowing because, you know, when I started this, I thought we're just going to blow through this for a couple of weeks and then we'll be back to real life. And all of a sudden, we're looking at, for me, another 2 weeks, we're really into a full year of sitting at home and, you know, just having these people come on and share what they know. It just kind of gets you a little, it makes you think creatively. And I've seen a lot of people's pictures. It's not just the four of you that shared. I've been watching and I look at what people are doing and it's just, I'm so excited.